Competition or collaboration, which is the faster path to success? While there are those that would argue that you need to be competitive and you need to fight to win, that's not the approach that my guest Henriette Daniel takes. She believes that real success lies in collaboration. And I think she's right. Curious? Then you'll need to listen to the show. Okay, here we go. Welcome to More Than a Few Words, a marketing conversation for business owners. MTFW is part of the digital toolbox from Roundpeg, and this is your host, Lorraine Ball. Today, I am so excited to have back with me Henriette Daniel. Henriette and I met actually online. We've never been in the same room, but I really think of her as a friend because we have collaborated on several different projects over the year. She is a successful entrepreneur. She has a business coaching business focused on helping service-based business owners attract more clients and grow. And I know you're going to enjoy meeting her as we talk about collaboration. Henriette, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Lorraine. It's an absolute pleasure to be back yet again.
Yes, absolutely. I was thinking back about it. We actually met in a Pinterest Tailwind Tribe group. That's where we stumbled across each other originally. And I can't believe how many great conversations and collaborations we've had in just a year.
I know, it's astounding to think how we just met and how things have just progressed from there. But yeah, it just shows you, if you've got the right energy and you're willing to meet the right people, they're out there.
Absolutely. So if you're giving advice to entrepreneurs who are like, I think collaboration would be good for me, where do you start?
Oh, that is a brilliant question. And this is something that actually gives me goosebumps every time I talk about it. So long story short, people always talk about competition. You need to look at what your competition is doing. You need to compete. And let's face it, since we've been brought up as kids, there's always been competition in schools, competition in academic. And I find that collaboration is actually the way forward for entrepreneurs. And I think collaboration will be a huge advantage for entrepreneurs, small business owners in the future. And I use the saying, I say a rising tide lifts all boats. And I know you've heard me say this so many times before, but I honestly believe in that. And when it comes to collaboration, most people will go like, okay, but why are collaborations so important? The first thing is, well, if you think about it, when you start collaborating with a bunch of people who are like-minded, who's got the same mindset, the same energy as you have, you really get to step outside of yourself. And what I mean by that is you really get to be pushed nicely out of your comfort zone to do things that you would have never thought of you would ever do before. Another reason why collaborations are important is really there's a universe of possibilities. Once you do a collaboration, you never know where that could take you. That could open up other doors for you in the future. That could open up more possibilities of things that you never would have thought possible. But then also, you get to work with people who have got this amazing energy, this amazing space where you're all together in, whether it's virtual or physically, it doesn't matter. But when you get to appreciate an amazing space and the energy of a bunch of people collaborating and working together, it really is the most amazing experience. And you and I talk from experience because we've done some amazing collaborations together as well.
And, I want to go back to something you said as you were leading off this conversation about collaboration, this idea that you need to look at your competitors through a different lens. I have this networking group that I've been a part of for years, and it's comprised of people who own businesses really just like mine. And on the one hand, we compete, but on the other hand, we don't, because when you enter into it with a collaboration mindset, I think sometimes you find the places where you overlap and complement each other rather than competing.
Exactly. And I agree with you 100%. And I think this is why people are asking, well, why do you need to collaborate? Or why do you need to create your own collaborations? What's the importance of it? I mean, if you look at all the benefits, number one, there's a financial benefit where if you're both working towards the same goal, you can boost sales. And not just for one individual, but it's between the both of you or how many of you are together in collaborating. Another benefit is the physical benefit where you get to share resources, equipment, facilities, all those kind of things. So, it just makes sense to do something like that. Whether they're your competitor or not, it doesn't matter. But look at the intellectual benefits. You can tap into combined expertise, knowledge, the capabilities, because let's face it, as an individual, you only have a certain amount of skills or expertise. But when you bring other people on board, can you imagine the huge foundation that could build? And then on the human aspect, amazing. You get to build relationships. You get to learn from each other. You get to create support amongst each other. And I think when you look at it from that aspect as to why collaborations are so beneficial, you would kind of think or just forget about the idea that you need to face a competitor or work against a competitor.
That's so true, because when you collaborate, and if you're smart about the collaboration, you look for people that can fill in some of your gaps. So if you're good in one thing, finding that person who's good in something else, or if you typically focus on market A and they focus on market B, it gives you an opportunity to introduce your business to their customers and their business to your customers.
Exactly. And, at the end of the day, like I said, when you kind of just change your mindset and think about what you can do as a creative entrepreneur in order to collaborate with other people, honestly, it is just going to open up a huge amount of opportunities for you. But also, it starts making you think differently about business. And every business owner knows that they can't do it on their own. They always need people around them, the right people, in order to make a business work. And this is where collaborations are so, so important if you start using it the right way.
The right group of collaborators become your sounding boards. They become the people that know your business the best and at the same time can give you that outside view and encourage you to look at your business differently. I had 3 business owners that I worked with. We would get together for lunch once a month. And we did this for probably 3 years, and we talked about each other's businesses. We shared ideas. We cross-promoted each other's businesses. And one day, the other 3 business owners said to me, "You know what you need to do, Lorraine? You need to raise your price. You are not charging enough for what you do, and your services are worth more." And that perspective was so powerful for me because these were people that I trusted, that I respected, and who I felt really knew me and knew my business.
Absolutely. And this is something that, I say when I do collaborations with people, I want to make sure that whoever I bring on board has got the right energy and the mindset, same as me. Otherwise, I wouldn't want to work with them because that kind of cooperation wouldn't be there. So if you want, I can share with your audience very easy, just 5 steps of how they can create their very own collaborations.
That would be fantastic. You absolutely read my mind. How do you create an effective collaboration?
Okay, so I think it starts number 1 with finding out who's already in your niche or in a similar industry that you're in. And when I say in your niche or you're in a similar industry, it doesn't mean that it has to be somebody who does exactly the same as you. So there can be examples like if you look at a fitness instructor, she can easily work with a nutritionist and they can work on a collaboration together. So the first thing is just to go and do some work on finding out who there is out there that you can build a relationship with, or who you already have a relationship with, who you already know that is in a similar industry or a niche as you in. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is to understand what the end goal is. Now, this is where most people get confused. When we talk about an end goal, when you do a collaboration, it's going to be 1 or 2 goals at the most. And every party involved as a collaborator needs to work towards that same goal. So whether that goal is in our business, in order to cross-promote, to get leads, build relationships, increase sales, or even enhance visibility, just to name a few, whatever that goal is, every collaborator needs to work towards that same goal. So my suggestion would be just to choose one goal if you haven't done collaborations before and just work towards that one goal and make sure that everybody is in agreement to what that goal is. The third thing is skills and energy. Whoever you're bringing on as a collaborator, what skill sets do they have, which you mentioned earlier on? What different skill sets do they have that they can bring to the table? What is their energy like? What is their mindset like? You need to kind of vet these people who you want to bring on board for your project to make sure that they are open-minded, they've got the same energy and mindset as you. And then number 4 is clarity. Oh my gosh, this is where I find the biggest flop can be for a collaboration if you don't get this right. Clear communication from the start. You need to set the terms from the start to every collaborator so that they know exactly what is expected of them, what is the goal, and what is it that everybody wants to achieve. So clarity is definitely number 4. The last thing, commitment. And this is something that I've seen that works time and time again, because every collaborator that you bring on board then for this project needs to be committed 100%. And you need to get that commitment from everybody 100% in order to have a success at the end of the day. So whatever project you want to start and bring collaborators on, make sure that you just use these 5 steps. And I'll quickly just run through them again. First of all, try and see who you already know, who's in your niche or in a similar industry. Make sure that everybody knows the end goal in mind. Then find people who's got different skills than you have that they can bring to the table, the right energy and mindset. Number 4, make sure that there's clear communication, there's clarity from the start. And then lastly, they need to be committed 100% till the end. And with those 5 steps, you can have any collaboration, you can work together, and you can make a huge success of it.
That is awesome, and it's such good advice. Henriette, thank you so much for spending some time with me today.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope that your audience will be able to use these 5 steps and go and do some amazing collaborations.
I'm sure they will, and I'm also going to encourage them to drop by HenrietteDaniel.com. There'll be a link in the show notes. Check out some of her podcasts, read her blogs, download her resources, and watch for the next collaboration that she's going to share sometime soon. Henriette, thanks again.
Thank you so much, Lorraine.
If you've enjoyed today's conversation, if you'd like to find more resources for your small business, be sure to check out the Digital Toolbox at digitaltoolboxin.com. This has been another episode of More Than a Few Words. Thanks for listening.